Today's video is brought to you by me. Nobody sponsors me. If you want to support this channel, subscribe and like every single video, okay? Hello, most beautiful people. Today we are making the pasta with meatballs. Some people like to call it the polpette, but I don't want to call it that because we're in Australia. The things you will need is garlic, onion, basil, parsley, some breadcrumbs, whatever pasta you want, parmesan cheese, and of course, meat. For this one, I have chosen the regular beef mince because it's got a bit of fat in it and it tastes better than normal beef mince. Let's begin. First things first, we need to cut up the parsley. I like to get rid of the stalks because it tastes bitter and horrible. Once you've cut your parsley, you put it in the bowl. Next up, we crack the eggs and we put them in the bowl. Everything in the bowl. Next on the list is the breadcrumbs. We're using 140 grams of breadcrumbs. That is roughly 140 grams. Put a little bit of salt, some pepper. Now we're going to cut up this onion and hopefully not cry. Oh my God. With the onion, you want to cut it up into little chunks, like little squares. I can't really see what I'm doing though because I'm crying my eyes out. Once you're done with crying, put the onions into the bowl. Last but not least is the garlic. With the garlic, you want to use at least 2, but more like 3 to 5, maybe 7, depends how much garlic you like. Cloves of garlic to put into the bowl. I like garlic quite a lot, so I'm going to put 4 cloves of garlic. Same as the onion, you want to cut it up into little bits. I think it's called dicing, but I don't really know. Just cut it. And then we put it in the bowl. All right, the last thing going into the bowl, I'm pretty sure I said the last thing was going to be the garlic, but that's okay. The actual last thing is, of course, the beef mince. What you do is you grab it, you mix it. Just like everything else I'm making, it is disgustingly messy. If your mince feels a little bit too dry, just add another egg in. It'll be okay. Now, depending on how big you want your meatballs, is how big you make your meatballs. Once it's mixed thoroughly like this, you could just make one giant meatball if you really want, or you could make lots of little ones like what I'm gonna do, where you just make a little one like that. And if you get a meatball that looks like the devil, just add more meat to the meat of the ball. You don't want little bits sticking out because it looks ugly, and when you go to cook it, it will fall apart. And nobody likes to eat messy balls. The hardest part for me is to make meatballs that aren't too big, because I get too excited and they end up like tennis balls. They should be slightly smaller than a golf ball. That has got to be the best set of balls you've ever seen. Okay, now things are gonna get a little bit hot and a little bit messy because we're gonna take these balls and put them in the oven. So first of all, set your oven to 200 degrees fan bake. While that is heating up, grab a baking dish like this one and some baking paper. Put the baking paper in the baking dish, obviously. I mean, where else are you gonna put it on your head? Grab your best friend, Mr. Olive Oil, and put a heap of that at the bottom of the baking dish. Grab your beautiful balls gently and softly put them into your baking dish. Once your balls are in the dish, get the olive oil again and splash it over the top. And we grab this and we put it in the oven. Now that's probably gonna need to be in there for at least half an hour. So you got a little bit of time now to make your sauce and your pasta. I actually forgot, you're supposed to put the parmesan cheese over the meatballs before they go in the oven. It's meant to be just like a light sprinkle so it melts over the top and it tastes amazing. Now luckily for me, my mum has made me pasta sauce after watching one of my last videos where I bought some Dolmio sauce. Nothing against Dolmio, but mum will kill me again if I use it. Pasta sauce is really frozen, but it's okay, it's gonna taste beautiful anyway. What we are gonna do is first put a little bit of oil into a saucepan. We then turn on the stove, put it on the stove, drop the sauce into the pot. That is going to take a very long time to unthaw and cook. In addition to that sauce, I also have some cherry tomatoes that are left over from the pizza I made. I'm going to use them in the sauce as well. Before we get started on cooking our pasta, I just want to say that this meal is super simple and literally anybody can make it. You can use the cheapest mince, you can use the cheapest pasta, you can make your own sauce. It's super cheap. The whole meal should cost no more than $20, and this should be able to feed at least 4 people. There's a lot of meatballs here, there's a lot of pasta. You're gonna have leftovers for days. But just like all Italian food, it's best eaten with friends. While we're waiting for the sauce and the meatballs, we're gonna get our pasta water ready to go. All you need is a big pot like this one, filled halfway with water. Get your salt, put a little bit of salt in there. Wait for the water to boil before you touch it ever again. So just as a little recap here, we have the pasta sauce in there. It's cooking and it's heating up and getting good. We have some water in here getting ready to boil. And down here we have the meatballs in the oven. They are also cooking. It doesn't matter if you open up the oven while the meatballs are in there. It'll just be the heat that escapes means it'll take a little bit longer for them to cook. But they will eventually cook and they will be eventually delicious. While we're waiting, I thought I'd ask you, if you are enjoying this video, please do smash the like button and subscribe for more. Also, I hope you're enjoying the better quality on this video compared to the last one. I put a lot of effort into making this video, so please let me know in the comments if this is a better quality than the last video. Okay, now the water is boiling beautifully, which means we are ready to put in our pasta. Now the key with putting pasta in is you just pour it in. You don't snap it in half like they do on the internet. It's all a load of shit. You just put it in like this and it will be perfect. Over time, it will drop and sag in and it will cook. Put it in like that. You don't need to do anything else. Okay, when your pasta sauce is boiling and looking good like this, what you do is you grab the basil, just about a handful, and you put it in there. I like to mix it in so that it wilts a little bit and mixes in nicely with your pasta sauce. This pasta sauce already has some basil in there, but it's very, very fine. So you won't actually taste it. I want it to be a little bit green to mix in with the meatballs. Okay, now we're gonna take the meatballs out to stir them around a little bit to make sure that they get baked on all sides. Would you just take a look at this absolute beauty? It makes me wanna cry. Now I'm just gonna stir these around a little bit, make sure that they're not sticking to each other, and make sure that they are fully covered in oil. These meatballs are almost ready to go, my friends. I'm gonna put them back into the oven for about 2 more minutes while I wait for this pasta to cook and become fully al dente. Now I'm just gonna put some of this pasta in the sauce. He's not cooked, he's not al dente, like eating straw. Okay, it's time to test the pasta again. Oh, fuck. Yes, it's al dente as fuck. Okay, time to turn off the pasta. We get the strainer out. Okay, so we have our pasta in here. There is a little bit of the pasta water on the bottom, but not too much. Next, we get our pasta sauce and we pour that in there. Last but not least, our meatballs. Take them out. We put them here. Then you simply get your meatballs out of the dish and into the bowl. Final step is to get your big bowl of pasta and to mix it up. And there we have it, my friends. We have the pasta with meatballs. The most important step though is to see what it tastes like. So let's have a go. It's quite possibly the best pasta and meatballs in the world, possibly even in the universe. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure you like it, comment below if you have any questions, subscribe for more, and I'll see you on the next video.